Do you want your Power BI applications to look something like this? Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a throwback into Power BI content, more particularly with Power BI embedded. So the application that I'm going to be demoing today is a Power BI embedded application into a React application that I built. But basically the concept here is that we want to use the Power BI assets to match the React website enough to make it look like it's a complete SaaS application rather than a Power BI dashboard. So I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of this app. So this app is built on React and hosted on Vercel, and then the Vercel deployment is essentially pointing to my domain here. So I'm going to talk about the auth in a bit when I go through the repo, but for now I'm just going to give in my username and password and hit sign in. And then once I do that, it sort of embeds the Power BI report as you saw there. So this top bar, the filter bar rather, and the sidebar, this is all built in React. And this canvas here where the Power BI report is, so this is actually built on Power BI desktop. So it's essentially taking this Power BI report here, and then it's embedding it onto this canvas area that I have set up here. And these React components are slicers, and through the JavaScript SDK, the client-side SDK, I can actually filter through. So if I select the different countries, it'll filter through. If I select the different salesperson, it'll filter through. And I can do cross-filter through visualizations like you would do in Power BI as well. So the logic here was to start off with this React shell here. At the same time, when I was making the visuals, I needed the visuals to have an appearance and color that would match the React shell that I was making. So when you approach it in that way, it sort of creates like this very seamless SaaS-like application that doesn't look like a Power BI report. So you can do page navigation through the client-side SDK as well, and the cross filters. So that's sort of how the app works. Now with regards to how the code looks like, so there are two GitHub repos that I shared. So this one is the React app, and then this one is the PBI assets. So if you've noticed, there's a lot of mention of Claude as prefixes in the visuals as well as on the actual React app repo. The reason why I did this was because I designed this whole thing on Claude Design. So I just wanted to show everyone what Claude Design can actually do. So the visual design in the React app and the visuals were all designed by Claude Design initially and then passed on to Claude Code essentially. So I'm going to start by talking about the PBI assets repo. And this basically has all the Power BI assets, which includes the custom visuals here and the PBIX file. So if you want to recreate this, you want to download the PBIX file and then install the custom visuals in your machine so that you can import them onto the PBIX file. The way you can do that is once you download all of these to your machine locally, you want to use command line to actually navigate to that directory where you have all the visuals, navigate into each visual folder separately, and then run npm install and npm run package. And when you do that, it's going to create a distribution directory within the respective visual folder that you're in, and within that distribution directory, you're going to have a PBIViz file. So once you create that PBIViz file, you want to go into your PBI desktop, go into your visualizations pane, and then click import from file, and then pick out that PBIViz file that you just created. And then you'd have your PBIX file ready for embedding. So once you get there, then you want to go and create the React file. So when you're creating the React app, first of all, to actually get Power BI embedded, you would have to go into your Azure Portal and do an app registration. There's instructions online to do this, but essentially create an app registration and authentication that has scope to do read Power BI assets. And then once you do that, you're going to get a bunch of keys. And you want to essentially take those keys and put it into your environment variable. So that's going to be your Azure client ID, client secret, and tenant ID. Once you do that, you want to navigate to your report and get your workspace ID and report ID. So again, this workspace would have to have embedded capacity, so that it would have to be either like a PPU capacity, or it would have to have embedded capacity allocated to it. Or if you have like embedded standalone or fabric, I guess both of those would work. For the authentication side, because this is a demo application, I just hard-coded it onto environment variables, but this isn't the best way to do it. It's a good way to do it if you're prototyping, but production side, I've sort of used, you can use your own database. I've in some scenarios used Vercel to do this. But if you're using app owns data, then you're controlling the auth flow, or you can just have Microsoft do it and go for a full-on user-owns data model when you're doing the embed. So once you do the embed, you're going to have a site similar to mine. And I can show you real quick how that works. Essentially, you just have these two pages that I showed you, the login page and the dashboard page. So if I go down to pages here, this is basically like the login page, which pulls in the environment variables. And then the dashboard page. And the dashboard page essentially brings in the sidebar, the top bar, the filter row, the canvas area. Canvas area is where the actual embedding is happening. So if I go to components and canvas area, you can sort of see here, this is my embed code down here, where I'm bringing in the report ID, embed URL, etc. from environment variables. And I have a small fallback placeholder in case the embed doesn't work for whatever reason. Maybe keys are wrong, maybe it's incomplete, whatever it may be. Filter rows, where I'm sort of setting state for the filters that I'm putting on. And it's setting state on the React side only, not interacting with Power BI, but it eventually looks for a change state on dashboard page.js. And then finally, under Power BI service.js, it applies the sort of column filters into Power BI. And then you have those report filters through the JavaScript SDK. So high level, essentially, that's how it works. So that's that. Initially, it might seem a little bit intimidating or overly technical, but with the help of AI, the barrier to entry, or rather the technical barrier to entry, I should say, has gone down quite significantly. So I feel like at this point, anyone can learn how to do embedded deployments. This application in particular mostly was coded by Claude, and it took me about 9 hours to build. That's also considering the fact that I have had experience with embedded deployments and how to work around them. But if you're taking a first stab at it, it might take you a bit longer. But if you like this kind of video, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I might eventually do a bit of a longer video series on how to actually get started with embedded from start to finish, and how to actually prompt the AI to understand how your reports are working with the embedded workflow. So yeah, have a good one.